Prince Harry stood on British soil for the first time in over 2 years. But he didn't come alone. Behind him walked Meghan. And beside her, 2 small children, Archie and Lilibet. The reaction was immediate and brutal. Harry was called, direct quote, poison for the monarchy. But here's what most people missed. There was a hidden strategy behind this visit, one that involved Harry's own kids, and it failed spectacularly. To understand what just happened, you need to rewind. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped back from royal duties in January 2020. That's over 5 years ago. Since then, the relationship between Harry and the royal family has been, to put it gently, complicated. There was the Oprah interview, the Netflix documentary, then the memoir, Spare, which landed like a grenade inside Buckingham Palace. Each project revealed more private details. Each one deepened the divide. But through all of it, every interview, every revelation, every accusation, one thing never happened. Harry's children never set foot in Britain. Archie was born in May 2019. Lilibet came in June 2021. Neither child had been to the UK since 2022. That's years without seeing their grandfather, King Charles, in person. Until now. Last Monday, Harry flew to Britain. Days later, Meghan joined him, and she brought Archie and Lilibet with her. The family of 4 was together on British soil, and they met the king. Sounds like a reconciliation story, right? The reality was far more complicated. The visit made headlines across every major British outlet. But the coverage wasn't warm. It wasn't celebratory. The dominant reaction was suspicion, accusation, and one phrase kept surfacing again and again. Poison for the monarchy. The argument was blunt. The damage Harry and Meghan caused over the past 5 years is still bleeding. The monarchy's popularity has taken a measurable hit, and Harry showing up in Britain doesn't heal that wound. It reopens it. The monarchy needs to rebuild its popularity and rebuild its respect for people. That was the sentiment echoing across British media, and Harry's presence in Britain just undermines that effort. That's one perspective, sharp, direct. But there's a second layer to this story. And that's where things get really interesting. For years, Harry has been fighting a very specific battle, not with the royal family, with the British government. He wants security for himself and his family when they visit the UK, not regular security. The kind of protection he received as a working royal, armed officers, full threat assessments, the works. The body that decides this is called RAVEC, the Royal and VIP Executive Committee. They handle security for royals and dignitaries. And they determined that Harry, as a non-working royal, no longer qualifies for the highest level of protection. Harry disagrees. Strongly. He's taken legal action. He's argued that the threat level against him and his family is real, that the risks haven't disappeared just because his title changed, but what nobody expected was his next move. Reports suggest Harry had a plan. One final move. A card he hadn't played yet. His children. Here's where it gets fascinating. Multiple reports indicate Harry genuinely believed that bringing Archie and Lilibet to Britain would change the calculus entirely. The thinking went like this. No politician, no government official, no committee member would want to see those headlines. The ones that read, Prince Harry's young children left without adequate security in Britain. That's a nightmare PR scenario. For anyone, according to sources close to the situation, quote, Harry genuinely believed the children would change everything. He was convinced it would force RAVEC's hand. Think about that for a second. A father, using the presence of his own kids as leverage. Not in a cruel way, but in a strategic one. He believed the optics alone would be enough to break the deadlock. He was convinced it would force RAVEC's hand, those sources said. But here's the question nobody's answering yet. Did it work? The family arrived. The meeting happened. Archie and Lilibet saw their grandfather, King Charles, for the first time since 2022. That part was real. That part was human. But the strategy? The plan to use this visit as a pressure move? Every indication suggests it didn't land. The reaction from the British establishment tells you everything. They didn't see a family reunion. They saw a chess move. Poison for the monarchy. That label stuck immediately. The British press covered the visit, but the dominant narrative wasn't heartwarming reunion. It was, what does Harry want now? And that's the cruel irony of this whole thing. Harry brought his children to Britain, believing their presence would force a change, that no one would dare deny protection to two kids who were in the line of succession. But the establishment, the very institution he was pushing, saw it differently. They didn't see leverage. They saw manipulation. Whether that's fair or not, that's a different conversation entirely. But the result speaks for itself. No announcement, no reversal, no statement from Ravek the card was played, and it didn't win the hand. Here's what makes this story genuinely sad. A father brought his kids to meet their grandfather. That should have been the headline. That should have been the whole story. But because of everything that came before, the interviews, the book, the accusations, every move Harry makes now gets filtered through a lens of suspicion. The message from the British press was clear. The monarchy needs to rebuild its respect. And in their eyes, Harry's visit didn't help that process. It hurt it. So where does this leave things? Right now, in the same place they were before the visit. Harry's security dispute with Ravek remains unresolved. His relationship with the royal family remains strained. And the monarchy is still trying to recover its public image. But something did shift. Something small. King Charles saw his grandchildren. Archie and Lilibet set foot in the country where their grandfather reigns. Whatever strategy was behind the visit, that moment was real. Reports say Harry believed his children would change everything. They didn't, not in the way he planned. But maybe, in some smaller, quieter way, they changed something. Or maybe not. Maybe the critics are right. Maybe the damage is too deep. Maybe every visit from now on will be read as a chess move instead of a family moment. That's the tragedy of the Harry and Meghan story. It started as a love story. A biracial American actress marrying a prince. The world watched. The world cheered. 5 years later, he's called poison. And a father's attempt to protect his children gets labeled a strategy. Nobody wins here. Not Harry, not Charles. Not the monarchy. And certainly not two kids who just wanted to see their granddad. If you want stories like this, real stories, no fluff, no filler, hit subscribe. Quiet better. New videos every week.